So yeah, like I was saying before, we're gonna step away from this world, and I'm gonna just kind of set the scene, set the memory, as it were, all the things you remember. And we will do that kind of, I guess, chronologically then. I don't want to spoil too much, so it's actually walking the line. I want you guys to be allowed to have your little secrets and stuff, but I just want to refresh you guys on this setting, this character. Basically, once upon a time in the city of Ironhaven, you awoke one day and you didn't really have any memories, but you became disillusioned with this occult lifestyle you were in, and you ran away from this great temple and the 6th Church of the Word. And you took residence in an inn, working for your room with this kindly man, Mr. Northwood. And after a short time, you were sent on a quest, and you hired a few men to accompany you to this secretive settlement in the Pine Grove. On your way, you rode a frog across the poison lake and destroyed some wizards, some necromantic fiends. You also encountered a great beast which captured your friends, and you found Mr. Northwood a prisoner and his allies eaten by the beasts. You guys continued in the morning to Pine Grove, and basically, after a really run of rotten luck, found yourself in a strange land, and you had to escape from a prison there, which you did hastily, being quite stealthy, and you took vengeance upon the man who betrayed you. After that, you lost Mr. Northwood in that strange land, and he was imprisoned there. And you went to help your new friend, Kor, find his commander, Abraham, who had been captured by goblins. And on the way, you also encountered Tredicor briefly, and rescued him as well, him being one of Abraham's men who were journeying together. Your crew, along with Abraham and Tredicor, the knights, and the traveling monk Tredicor who accompanies the knights, you guys fought the darkest flame in this deep, dark cathedral underground where the goblins lived. And you guys were defeated. Blacked out, you escaped Tredicor and slept in the Mushroom Grove. And in the morning, Tredicor ventured out, defeating wolves, finding a friend in the woods named Glaphoran, who you adventured with to a very magical grove, and saw some wondrous things in the trees. Before returning to the Pine Grove, to accompany Glaphoran on his quest to get into the Burning Wood. You did this, and you tried to make your way into the Burning Wood and eventually retreated. However, you found the Washing Wilt on behest of Abraham and Kor to revive those adventurers who had been burned by the Dark Flame. So, to this end, you were pleased. A traveling circus appeared and you competed. However, the town was attacked by basically bounty hunters, escaped slave hunters from the strange land of Ozar. And many people in the carnival were slaughtered, and the knights escaped with Tredicor, and the great elfin healer who you gave the Washing Wilt to very insistently took the weak and healing burn victim Lorena on horseback into the woods to escape. That's where we left off. I have some things for you. Yes, as you're traveling through the trees, Tredicor, and as you have already woken up to find you have dire straits and a curse of sorts. A curse makes itself known unto you, Tredicor, the curse of Ashlung. Basically, this gives you a bit of a cough, and all curses have this stat. It's kind of just a homebrew rule, but you're going to have to sleep an extra day to get the effects of a long rest. So, you just spend a bit more downtime when you're doing a long rest. So yeah, probably need to be somewhere very safe to do that. But yes, this makes itself known to you with a very abrupt cough and hacking up of a lung, which reminds you of your adventures. And we'll begin just with Tredicor. You're with the knights. You guys aren't together in the same area right now. So basically, you're just riding in the back with the peasants, and the knight who's driving kind of this small cart is Kor, who you don't know too well. But he's Abraham is his superior, kind of immediately ranking. He's one of the higher ranked officers of the Knights of the Word Corps. And after a while, you hit a bump as you're making a turn to the east, and actually just a moment ago, you hit another bump, and the peasant fell out, but you were able to pull him back in, and you guys went off for about 10 minutes. You hit another bump now. The other knights were in another cart slightly ahead of you, but you find your cart to be completely halted. Actually, just to set this up a bit more, there were 10 freed slaves in the cart, 4 in the front cart, along with Abraham and a few other knights. In the back, there's these 6 peasants and you, and Kor, who's driving the cart. You guys are making haste away from the attack at Pine Grove. And it's about midday, but it's misty. There's kind of this canopy of pine trees above you, so it's a bit shadowy in this dense section of trees. The cart itself becomes stuck amongst the roots of a very large tree. Kor will just shout "Come on, giddy up! Let's get out of here!" And you're just completely kind of jerked and thrown off. Actually, make a dex save. Some of the peasants in the back are kind of jolted out as the cart comes to a complete stop and fall out, and those in the front are jostled around next to you, bumping into you.
So that's a 17.
Yeah, so you're able to, completely maintain your footing, and you notice the cart's completely stuck underneath. They're not going to get it to move. What do you want to do?
Kind of want to do a perception.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to do a perception check.
Yeah, go ahead and roll for it. Anything specifically you want to investigate?
So, I'm thinking that we're not stuck just out of bad luck. I feel like there was a reason we were also stopped.
Yeah.
And so I scan the canopy, and I scan the forest, and I look for anything that stands out of place.
Okay, yeah, make your roll.
That's a 11.
Yeah, so, scanning around, you don't really notice anything, but you get out of the cart and start investigating a bit more, and immediately you notice kind of below, it's kind of this 2-wheeled cart, right? And it's kind of a large sitting room in the back, medium sitting room for all of you to huddle in there. But, yeah, the roots are just completely tangled between the spokes of these, at least the one wheel next to you. Unnaturally, very strange. What do you want to do?
I pull out my short sword and use it to kind of hack at the roots.
Okay.
See if I can free the will.
Yeah, go ahead and roll for that. I guess, yeah, roll to just attack basically.
I dropped the sword.
After some time of all of you just trying your best to get the cart moving, Core comes out and tries to hack away with you. And as you guys are doing this, this procession, or rather this single horse, this white elegant horse, back from the direction of the town, appears, and it is, once she approaches, you recognize her as the elven healer from the town, dressed in her white gown. And on the back there is another elf with her, who you actually recognize, the elf in the bed, who she healed, or she used the washing wilt to basically heal her burnt skin. So she's riding towards you. Anything you want to do about that? Yeah, you guys have to briefly, but you can both do your thing. What are you guys gonna do in this situation? At this point, the horse approaches you guys, and you guys, anything you guys want to do? Just in this moment as it approaches.
Lorena, I had no idea that what we have gathered would be the one that would save you.
Thank you. I don't really know why I'm alive right now.
What happened? When did this happen?
I don't really remember when. I got burned. I remember bowing, and then that's all I remember until like a little while ago, before we got on the horses.
It lightens my heart to see you well.
It's good to see a familiar face. Finally.
And basically the elven healer kind of smiles, seeing you two kind of recognize each other. But she'll say, "This lady is marked by the darkness, that she will not be safe in the Pine Grove. She will eclipse the fey magic and the gnomes. I cannot protect her. But you knights," and she references to Core and nods at you, "but you are also fleeing, and she must flee, so I thought I would send her with you." And she kind of bows. "For it is your destiny to escape this place, and to that end your pathways are one. Don't stop until you get as far away from the slave hunters as possible." And she kind of helps you off of the horse. So, anything you're gonna do as you're getting down? Anything you want to do?
No, just kind of stand and eat a little bit.
Okay. And she'll just say, "Godspeed," then, as she turns the horse around and kind of begins to trot off backwards towards the Pine Grove town. Anything you guys want to do?
Yeah. Lorena, we had been struggling, as you can see, our cart is stuck, and we have not prevailed in cutting it, or at least releasing us. If we must continue on, this is a task that we must complete.
Okay. The wheel is also made of wood, right?
Yes.
Okay. No fireball. I'll take my dagger and try to start sawing at the smallest part of it.
Okay, yeah, I'll let you make an attack as well.
Okay.
So just a d20 to see how well you hit it. 5.
Not that well.
Yeah, and then you add your, strength or dex or whatever, or your strength, actually.
Okay, so 3.
Perfect. So, you guys don't make a lot of progress through the roots at all. The roots, in fact, seem to just be getting thicker and the cart just seems to become more entangled than it were, if that was possible.
Okay.
You guys are not helping.
Can I try to use the curse that I have on the roots?
How do you want to do it?
I'm going to make a little cut, just like a little stab, and then spit into it to get infected.
This makes me get out the DM dice. That means what you're trying is not that crazy. Oh, check it out, guys. By the way, pause. Not to, well, I won't pause.
No, we need to see.
I'm gonna roll
I
this.
saw a clear one, so.
Okay, I made a roll. I got these. I thought, I just saw them at the game shop and I thought they were kind of cool. I was like, I'm gonna get one for Kyle as well. So it's 2 dice, 2 d20s in one. You can use this for if you have advantage or disadvantage. You would take the highest or the lowest of the 2, right?
That is so neat.
So here, you can use that as well. I'm gonna buy another one because I only got 2, but I also got this one actually. There's a third one, but it's a D10, 2 D10s. So it's a D100.
Yeah.
And the inside one's always the second number, which actually solves the problem for me. I was always like, well, it's actually pretty obvious.
Well, except wrong.
Because one has zeros on it, but.
A D10 and was it?
Ooh, 69.
Yeah.
Okay. As you guys are just futilely trying to hack away and saw.
I am not trying to do that.
And saw into this. Actually, pause. Gotta make this super cool. It's very important. So, this is how it goes down. So then write it down. Okay. Basically, make a perception check, both of you. Mostly Kyle. Actually, are you perceptive? What's your guys' perception?
Mine's
like a 6.
11.
Okay, so as you're hacking away, you actually notice some rustling up in the trees above you.
Okay.
In fact, you see this blackish gray bird, which you think is like a hawk. Very sleek and well-kept feathers, but it just kind of zooms down. It lands on this branch and then zooms down towards you guys. A note in its hands and it drops it. Tredicor. And the bird kind of sits on top of your stalled cart. On top of like the back section. Kind of near the bird actually. The front of the back section. All the other pens are just around.
As it falls, it just lands straight in front of me, right in front of the roots. And I am startled and look around. I notice that it is addressed to me. And I open it up. Inform the Grey Wizard. Orpheus? That the Elderwood and Glawthorn required aid. Reward? Question. I like that one. Tredicor, my friend, I hope you are safe. So I have sent Gorm or Grey to find you. I saw you defeat many soldiers. I tried to fight too. Many were slain. I escaped. Please send word with Grey. If you are bound for the realm of man, please aid the Elderwood. Thus deliver Arnakius, the wizard, to the Grey Elderwood. Thank you for your advice, Glawthorn. P.S. Those slave hunters even seek the night, and freedmen with fury. Be careful. Okay. So we're getting chased, and there's a wizard on its way. And what's his name? How do you say it?
You don't know.
Armikius?
Actually, make a... You heard Glawthorn say it once, so make like a...
Memory check?
Probably a wisdom, or you could argue intelligence. Whatever you want to use. I would say memory check. I'm not sure what that's called, though.
Probably insight and...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking at first.
Yeah, let's do insight.
Memory check. That just sounds so accurate, though.
Yeah.
We should make... There's like a Wild West game where it's like... make a notice check. That's pretty cute.
So, 14.
So, Ornicus.
Ornicus.
If you recall correctly, that's what Glawthorn said. He did mention this when you first met him, kind of. He was like, but you opted to go to the Ashwood with him.
So I think the PS is something that probably gets a lot of attention as well, and that means that we need to get going.
What were you gonna say?
So did my stabbing thing work?
Nope. The progress. You guys are not cutting the roots at all. The roots are, if anything, worse than before.
Even when I tried to curse it.
Oh, you tried to curse it.
You did not fight me.
So I remember what I rolled. And that means it didn't really seem to work. There's no noticeable effect. So yes, you guys are still just kind of in the same predicament.
I say we start moving forward without the cart. It is dangerous to stay in one spot for too long. Especially after that we are being hunted and they are in a fury.
What's on the cart?
Just people, I think.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Leave the cart.
Yeah.
I'm going with you.
And then we obviously have... Do we have 2 horses or one pulling the cart?
There's one horse pulling the cart. But Kor, the Knight of the Word, which you traveled with briefly, you know him, he's with you guys, and he would say to that, yes, you're right. We should continue on foot. 'Tis a shame, though. We'll be more dangerous this way. We'll cover less ground quickly. And we must get these freed men to safety.
Can we give one of the freedmen the horse and have them go inform the cartel that's ahead of us that we are on foot now?
This might be a good plan as well. You are a very astute monk. Perhaps we will do so. Did you have one of them in mind?
I just want to keep us 3 together, Kor and Lorena.
And he'll kind of shout out to one of the freedmen. Strong man, can you ride the horse and inform the others ahead? And it's basically just this man who is actually a bit taller and stronger than all the other of the peasants, and he's just like silently nods to him. He says, I heard what you said. I'll tell the others. So he'll hop onto his horse, and along with Kor, they free it from the cart, the entangled cart, and he starts riding off ahead of you, and away. And the rest of you are there, and Kor will say, like, quick, grab anything you need from the cart, get your backpacks on, and we'll trudge off. Can't wait long. What are you guys gonna do?
I say we just start heading exactly where the horse trotted down the trail. Make sure that we stay on the trail so that we are at least spotted.
So there's not actually a trail in this area. You guys kind of went off the trail to escape.
Okay.
And you're just in this thick section of woods. That's why there were a couple bumps. And you do know that you're north of the Pine Grove. Northeast, you're still in the Pine Woods. So heavy with blue spruce and scent of pine. And I will grant you guys just briefly the knowledge of this map, which is common knowledge. This is kind of like the canonical map. You'll know all this stuff. Shows like kind of these very large kingdoms. And yeah.
So are we heading towards Ozar?
No, you're heading away from Ozar. So just to point it out, the bridge, that's Pine Grove.
Yeah, that's where the inn
And
is.
you're basically just in the woods to essentially the north.
Okay.
And you're still in the Pine Woods, so it's... And you have it on your map too.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like... No, this is not the Pine Grove. This is...
Oh,
so you're
okay,
actually
so
like...
next to the north.
You're actually like down here.
Hmm.
Well, just north of the bridge.
Oh, right.
Just barely north, like right next to the bridge. You haven't gone too far away from the Pine Grove, so you're essentially at the bridge, if you want to think of it that way. You're just a little to the northeast in the woods.
So we crossed the bridge, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
The town is like on the bridge, essentially, and you...
So I noticed since I got the ash lung, I can tell that we are close to the burning wood. Very close.
Judging by the smoke, and since you're going kind of east, essentially you went north and then you turned east. So you know east is towards the Ashen Woods.
Okay. Oh.
So you'll hit them eventually if you keep going east.
Yeah.
But that's the plan, and then to get to Iron Haven is through that.
So, just judging by that, I know that we must go that way and just continue in that direction.
Yeah, I mean, you could take a longer route, but if you want to go straight to kind of Iron Haven, you'd have to cut through the Ashwood. The other option would be to go north or south, which wouldn't really, you can go any direction you want. It's up to you guys, but
I think the shortest
the plan is to
route
go
is best.
shortest route.
Let's go shortest
It's
route.
kind of a course plan and stuff, as it would seem. Your plan initially was just to run away, and then now it's kind of changed to
Get there.
get to Iron Haven, which is why you're kind of up off the path. So. But yeah, you guys,
I'm gonna show you my set. I don't know if that helps.
Okay.
you guys have a little bit of overlap.
Mm-hmm.
They're a little bit different scales as well. This one's kind of zoomed in. Which probably means it has a bit more accurate detail, but not necessarily. You guys don't know much about the makers of these maps. They're probably different makers. These two maps.
Who to compare notes?
It seems, actually, those seem like they might be the same maker. I'm not sure. You could roll your investigation. I'm just kidding.
There's only one cartographer in the entire world.
I was actually thinking about that. I think that's somewhat accurate. There's a lot of amateurs out there, but there's that one guy who's really famous. You guys heard of him? What's his name again? I forget.
I don't know. He doesn't mark the maps.
He's the map. He's the map. He's the map.
So yeah, if you guys just kind of follow Core's marching orders, you guys kind of just head off into the east towards, as you're going, it gets a bit, the kind of the smoke, what was mist kind of turns to this thicker ashy smoke that gets a bit thicker as you progress through the pine trees.
In hindsight, I wish I would have told the slave or the freedman something to tell Abraham, but I kind of mumbled that under my breath.
Oh, actually, as you kind of are trudging off, you notice the hawk is still like around you. He's flying behind you, kind of following you. But yeah, that's all I'll say.
Do I have like any animal like instinct or knowledge? No, I don't have it. I don't have animal handling. Can I use a wisdom check?
Yeah, you can. I mean, to do what? What do you want to know?
So, I just wanted to see if like I have any recollection of like what
Oh yeah,
messenger hawks, or is it a hawk, eagle?
it's a hawk.
Hawk.
So yeah, you can do a.
Just 'cause
what was
it's-
your thought? Finish that. Again?
Well, because like since it dropped it off, the letter, I feel like since it's hanging around, it's expecting a response, or maybe. So like something I can write down and send with it.
So you want to?
I want to send a message.
You can just send a message. You've got some parchment papers. If that's what you want to do, you can do that. If you want to know something additional, you can do a check to see like your wisdom or whatever.
Yeah, let's just do a more knowledge. See if I recognize anything.
Okay.
I don't.
No new information. But if you want to send a reply,
Okay.
it's definitely seems like something you could do. Anything you want to do as we're trudging off? Just kind of briefly monologue about your experiences.
All I ever do is walk and get hurt. And I just would like to rest eventually.
Well, it's important to get you to safety. With
Inspiration.
with these men chasing us, I know that it must be hard, but we must get to our destination if we want safety and said rest.
That's my reply. It was a long sigh.
Just. So let's get to Iron Haven.
Did you send your reply?
I'm gonna wait until we get to Iron Haven. This is no good time to reply to notes.
And
We're in a hurry.
the bird will wait.
Alright. The bird can follow us all at once. It knows where its home is. Maybe we should follow it. Maybe it knows where the safe is.
Sure. It is a predator.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys want to follow the bird or you
Follow the bird.
the core?
It was just a...
Sounded like a joke, but I would ask. Okay. I mean, you can insist if you want.
No.
Okay. So here's what I'll do. Basically, what's your marching order? Are you guys gonna follow Core? You're gonna walk up with him? You're gonna try to scout ahead, follow behind him in line? What's your plan as you're trying?
Maybe we should follow Core. I mean, he does know. Like,
Pretty commander-esque. He's leading. The peasants are definitely following him.
yeah.
So are you guys gonna follow as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you gonna stand in the line?
I want to be... I think you should be in the very front with Core, and I'll be in the back.
I think I'll just be right behind. He's on the horse, right?
No.
No, I'll be right behind him, like slightly to his right.
Yeah, there's no horse, so you guys are just kind of marching off your backpacks and all the gear that you got. And you're behind Core, you're behind her. And there's freedmen behind you.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, cool. I'm just gonna look it up.
I really feel like one of us should be in the very back of the line, though.
Yeah, you can decide right now.
I'll go.
You want to go in the back?
Yep, I'll be in the back.
Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to remember Tredicor.
I'm like trying to listen for anything back there that's not part of our group.
Okay. Go ahead and just make a perception check.
I do not hear anything.
You know, there's what you do here is just like, you know, the sound of woodland animals. There's like squirrels, birds, badgers riding through the trees around you. The you know, the pine trees bristling about, the wind, and strong perception is the smell of smoke begins to intensify as you guys are walking. But since you're in the front, I'm gonna have you make a survival check as you adventure, as you're part of your journey.
13?
Okay, yeah, so you kind of, maybe a couple times kind of turning to a brief divot around some trees and kind of making faster speed than Core, who's actually leading it. So sometimes this kind of benefits your journey as a whole. Move a bit faster if some people follow you.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you're doing a good job walking along and making decent speed, but pretty slow. Actually, go ahead and make another survival check.
Another survival?
Whatever I had you do a second, I'm sorry.
I believe it was.
You guys are traveling for about like an hour.
So I get 14.
There's like not a lot of activity. You guys are just marched along. 14, yeah. Even so, you just continue. Cora's just like, do you want to lead the way? You're fast. You're faster than me. You can lead us smarter.
Yes.
So yeah.
I would at least be ahead.
Yeah.
If you notice that I'm going in the wrong direction, please let me know.
Thank you, Tredicor. It's good to have you with us. So yeah. Sorry. Note time. Just because the marching order, I'm making a note of it. Could be important. And actually, go ahead and make another kind of perception check for me. Those are your guys' jobs as you guys are adventuring.
6.
If you guys want to do anything else, though, you know, you're always free. So yeah, you know, woodland animals, you're kind of not concentrating too hard on your goal there to just like persistently just keep an eye out. You know, you do for a while, but then you're like, nothing's going on.
I don't really like the smoke smell, so I'm going to put my hood up above my nose and mouth.
Yeah, and it does just get thicker, and now as you guys are journeying for about another hour, the thick smoke just comes even more heavy and rises up and kind of consumes the trees, so you can't see like that far in either direction. And at this point, you notice the change in the landscape, where before you were just in this dense pine grove. Now you're in this kind of more barren area. There's a lot of just open space, and it's overwhelmed by these black pillars, these burning trees that, as it is, it's getting a little bit later in the day. Like the sun is kind of low in the sky.
Is it really hot though because of the fires?
It's a bit warmer, yeah. There's like some ambient fires in the trees providing some extra light as well, so it's kind of lighter in this area. The sun is directly shining on you guys. It's not like too hot, I would say. It's a little bit, definitely more of a dry heat than before, and if you get near a fire, it's really hot. And there are occasionally, you'll notice some fires on the ground, or just some embers in this thick ash all over the ground as you
It's like desolation
approach.
just happening right in front of us.
Yeah, you're just now approaching the edge. There's like a fine line of pine trees on one side, and then this burning ashen wood in front of you. And it goes on as far as you can see. And you can't actually see far just because of the thick smoke. But, you know, it's...
I say we continue into it.
Yeah.
And we step up and we get to the tree line, and we just like are kind of stopped for a moment. And then we all look at each other.
Coral nod to you like, we've got this. We're gonna make it. So yeah, again, make your guys' checks for me if those are the jobs you still want to be doing. If you want to do anything else, feel free to speak now. Okay. So...
Do I see anything? I'm like trying to stare through the smoke.
All squinted.
I hood up.
You don't see anything, and you actually can't see like too far, but even through the smoke you don't notice anything out of the ordinary. You know, you do a pretty good job of checking though. All the animals are gone from this point. It's just completely desolate, completely silent, besides just the crackling cinders of the burning woods around. So You can do your survival.
Survival? Like 3? Yeah, 3.
Make a dexterity save. As you begin trudging into this ashen landscape.
16.
And after, I'll say, maybe 10, 15 minutes, you guys are beginning to walk out into this ashen world, and, so now you're just in the thick of it. These black, spindly trees about you. Some fires burning off in the distance to the north, kind of, as you're passing. And in front of you, you notice this. Actually, you kind of like go down to step on this large pile of active embers in front of you, and you succeed your dexterity save and kind of get out of the way without taking damage, if you want to describe it.
So as I step down, I notice something's not quite right, as in it's sixth sense, and before I even get close to it, I do a backflip and land back down and
athletics.
Yeah, athletics.
Acrobatics. That's the one.
Can I re-roll since it's...
Yeah, you can re-roll.
Oh, I do it.
Nice. Yeah, your backflip is spectacular. You can continue.
Oh, as I flip back and I land down on my feet, and I turn to the rest of the group and tell them to halt.
Yeah, you kind of land close to Corey, kind of catches you as you turn around, and you're just like, it's like, which way should we go?
We must tread lightly in these areas. The ground is faulty and may cause harm.
It's like, I'm glad you're leading the way. Nimble one.
So now that we know that there's hazards in front of us, I kind of want to do a spot check just to see if
yeah, you just perception or investigation.
Yeah.
Do investigation, actually.
Investigation, yeah.
Just kind of looking for the safest path, any more active cinders about.
Okay.
Obviously, there's this large pile of active cinders in front of you.
Not there.
I think there's too much smoke in my eyes.
Somewhere, you're not sure how big the pile is, but there's one in front of you somewhere. That's all you know.
Okay.
Other than that, it's just this white ash all about. It all looks the same.
Alright. The smoke clouds my vision, and I just know that we cannot go forward in this direction, at least at this point. So I turn to the right and kind of feel the ground as I walk to see if it's secure.
Yeah. So go ahead and make another survival check as you guys are venturing about.
Okay.
You're making really great progress going through the burning wood and kind of passing the area where there's just, you can see thick fires up to the north and just a lot of ambient heat coming down that way. It does get a bit hotter in this area, and you notice a few more active cinders, and you are able to manage the group, lead them around on a safe path. Make another investigation check.
18.
18. At this point, it's getting really late. The sun is setting, and
Dark vision. Whatever.
yeah, that's okay. I know. And the sun is setting behind you in the west, right? So it's kind of just this shadow slanting in front of you as you guys venture forth, and you actually do hear something off in the distance to the south, to your right, essentially, as you're going, and it just sounds like some shuffling, some movement of some bodies over there.
Wait, which direction?
To the south, so to your right as you're headed east.
Yeah.
And what do you want to do? You're not sure what it is, though. It's off in the thick smoke, maybe 20 yards away, 20 feet away.
Ahead of me and to the right, or behind me and to the right?
It seems almost directly, but maybe a little bit behind.
Okay, I'm gonna run up to Tredicor and just let him know.
Yeah. What do you want to say to him exactly?
I hear possibly footsteps to the south, almost directly parallel to us.
Okay.
and it's making me nervous.
So I say we kind of rotate and we keep the freedmen. These freedmen are armed, correct?
You can make a perception check real quick just to notice.
Just our caravan. Like, are we the only three that are armed? Or
It seems like you guys are definitely the more capably armed members of the group.
so
You guys
I
are
rolled a
clearly armed.
13 in perception.
Well, you're not really clearly armed, but you know these other, like Core and
That they're
Laura,
combat.
they seem armed.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was your roll? 11? 12? Oh, 11?
So 13.
13? You notice a few of them have like daggers. They don't seem really well armed or anything like that other than that. Most of them don't appear to have weapons.
Okay, so I say us three, we decide to kind of turn our caravan around. Instead of it being a single line or single file, it's now each one of them, because there's only 3 more of those, I think.
So there's actually 5 freedmen,
Okay.
and then us 3 basically.
I say we get in the front of where the noise is coming from, and then these 2 kind of like fan out.
Okay.
So there's like us 3, and then 2 on one side and 3 on the other.
Like a V?
Mm-hmm.
So then, okay.
I'm gonna draw my bow.
So you want to be closest to the noise?
Yeah.
Or who knows? Okay. Makes sense. So that's to the south though, so you're moving to the east, so the V would move like this. Is that what you want? Okay, that's fine. Let me just make a note of it.
You know what we're doing.
I have no idea what I'm doing. I just know that if we just keep on walking in a single file, it would be bad.
More targets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So at this point, I will allow you both to make kind of a perception check as you guys continue moving in this new formation.
15.
15. Nice.
You can see.
Okay, interesting. So, a couple things happen here as you start moving along pretty quickly. My numbers. Okay, this will work. Now you're kind of being led to one side, kind of by Core and a few freedmen in your new formation trying to make their own way. But quickly, a couple of them kind of manage to stumble their way into some embers and kind of falling off. The others kind of backtracking along, kind of ruining the formation a bit, coming up next to you guys. Those who saw the others and are now avoiding the embers. Those who were hit kind of are rolling off to the side, trying to escape and, cool down their feet and stuff like that, and just getting out. They're not too badly injured, but it's a little bit of a roadblock. But at the same time, both of you actually notice the sound again, some sound of some shuffling, maybe some footsteps off to the south. Seems a little closer. What are you guys gonna do?
We're gonna shout at it. We're gonna be like, we know you're there. Address yourself, friend or foe.
And I'm gonna aim my bow.
Yeah.
Don't really notice anything for a second. Then you notice the sound again, a little bit closer, near. You can't see anything in this thick, smoky area. You hear the sound on either side of you now, even closer. Shuffling, definitely footsteps, shuffling through the ash, because you're familiar with this sound. And then again, nothing happens. What do you want to do?
Well, you have your bow drawn. I'm definitely in a defensive stance, and we're standing still. All of us are back in formation.
I'm gonna say. Well, can I tell like how far away they are?
They're pretty close to you now. You can tell it's like maybe 10 feet away at most. It's a lot closer than it was before, and they've kind of gone to either side of you. Like you hear them on either side, both sides.
Okay.
But you can't see for the ash smoke.
Since I'm cursed, can I like sense any darkness?
If you wanna like just try to sense,
Like pretty
it's kind
spiritual.
of like detect evil. You can do a wisdom check of sorts.
Okay, I'm gonna do it and see if I can sense anything. 15.
Definitely this, feeling of foreboding and dread comes over you, like something wicked is out to get you, and it's now upon you. Anything you want to do with this information? Any actions you want to take?
I shoot a firebolt towards that feeling.
Okay.
I just have a question.
Yeah.
How does a rogue have firebolt?
She's an elf.
Okay.
Elves get one spell. High elves do.
Okay.
So, it's basically the only spell she'll know ever. Unless she becomes a
And
wizard.
it's fun.
Basically a firebender, so.
Cool. I was just wishing I was an airbender, so.
That would be cool.
Mm.
You're close. You're like so close.
You're basically there. You're like,
Yeah.
We need Appa.
you gotta find him. He's still missing.
So I just roll the damage on this one then, right? 1d10.
Yeah, you're casting your bolt of fire into
yeah.
the smoke where you saw this person. So yeah, you'll roll the damage just to hit the d20.
Oh, it's 1d10 though, I thought it was.
No, that's your damage, but you have to roll to hit first.
17.
Okay. Yeah, so roll damage.
7. Plus.
Whoa.
It's good.
Yeah, no, 7.
So yeah, you cast this tiny flame in your hand, which kind of, casts its own light on you, and then you,
My eyes are closed because I'm going to where I feel.
yeah, and it grows up into a giant fire, and you throw it out into the smoke, and it kind of disappears, but you can still kind of see this faint light.
Can I see any outlines or do I hit anything?
Yeah, it seems to it's pretty hard to tell, but I think you hit them. There's actually like an audible noise that you hear, like kind of a scream.
Girl or boy scream?
It's a boy. It's like, ah!
Okay.
Can I do a dash over to the noise that I heard right there?
Yeah, you can try to do that. Basically, from the opposite side, though, is where you cast the firebolt. You hear kind of this shout, like, now! And then you're all going to roll initiative, though.
Okay. Ooh.
Okay.
What do you guys get?
I got 20.
19.
I got 21.
So, yeah, you can definitely dash over there. Is that
Okay.
what you want to do?
I definitely do.
Okay, dashing to where you heard the guy get hit. And there's a little bit of a decision, I guess, because actually the guy you heard someone shout now, that guy's actually closer to you. It's kind of you
Okay.
and well, actually, just barely though, because you're in the middle. That's closer to core, and then the other peasants who are kind of in front of you, who are avoiding the ones who hit the fire, which is just over to kind of your left as you were marching. I don't know which way you're facing now, though. So it's slightly closer. They're both about 12 feet away.
Yeah.
Close.
And so, actually, instead of towards the one that she shot the fireball at, the one that said now.
Okay. Yeah, so you can definitely dash over towards that guy. Yeah, as you're kind of dashing through the smoke, it's super thick, so quickly you can see like kind of 5 feet around you, and you're just in this dense smoke. You can see like your fellow compadres in this close interaction, because as they turn into the smoke, it's kind of the shadowy form, so you can see your crew around you kind of in some semblance. So as you run away, kind of quickly that dissipates, and you can kind of see the semblance of your crew off behind you. But also running through the mist towards you is kind of this elf with kind of this purplish dark skin and kind of these short pointy ears, and he's dressed in black. He's got kind of a black robe and some chain metal armor, and he's got his kind of dual swords drawn, and he's also charging towards you, and you guys see each other in a split moment as you guys are both aimlessly charging towards each other through the smoke, and you interact, but you get to make your action.
Okay. So as I'm dashing through, I'm going through the fire pits very gracefully and just running, and I just see it come. I turn around and I put a fist up and I try to grab him.
Well, he's in front of you, but...
Oh. So since he's in front of me...
You guys are charging like just at each other right now.
Okay.
In a split second.
I do a slide kick. I go in and try to like knock him onto the ground. So as he's coming towards me, I just do a slide.
Cool.
And I try to see what I can do.
Done that to my brother. Effective.
Yeah, roll your attack.
Okay. 20.
Effective.
Critical. Roll your attack.
All right. So that's just going to be an unarmed, so that's 1d6.
And you will double it.
Yeah. No, sorry. I actually think it's 1d4 plus my dex. It is. Uh-oh. Can I borrow someone's d4? Nine.
Yeah, so you trip that guy, and actually go ahead and just roll d20 for me and see the result. But yeah, as you're coming in, you definitely trip this guy, and he kind of stumbles forward and falls over.
2.
And you know, he kind of somewhat gracefully like shoulder rolls after you trip him, and he kind of slides back into the ash. And let's see. He kind of quickly somewhat starts to get to his feet, but he seems very disheveled, he's kind of in the shadows now, away from you as he kind of slid away. But you know, stand to your feet, turn around to face him, and you have somewhat of the upper hand as he's getting to his feet, and you are turning around on him. It's your turn, and yeah, you're still just with the gang, you know, and off to your right, in the shadows, this person that you threw the fireball at. You kind of are aware that they're over there, kind of this faint shadow as well. You can kind of hear some rustling. You think he's kind of like trying to put out the fire that you hit him with, like maybe his shirt's on fire.
Gonna shoot
He's
him.
stalled over there. Okay. Yeah. You just roll for your attack.
5.
And it's plus dexterity.
7.
Okay. So You can describe as you awkwardly shoot off into the distance, and it whizzes close to him, but misses.
I got some ash in my eye, so my aim is slightly off. That's why.
It was like almost like someone came up and just like threw sand in your eyes for a second. What?
And the arrow kind of whirling the smoke away, and you kind of almost obscuring your vision of it, of this entity in the woods.
What's Core doing?
He's standing beside you.
I'm gonna tell him to go check that out.
He says, I might check on Tredicor, but I'll defend you against this aggressor. And he'll like put his sword out towards the shadowy figure, kind of stepping in front of you, but just waiting. And actually the shadowy figure will get closer. It seems to be charging at you now. And he also has like this large sword as he comes in to strike and locks in with Core. And those two kind of guard off against each other for a second. And the shadowy figure nearby next to you, kind of as he sees you closing in on him and he's turning around, getting up onto his knees, he throws some like knives at you, like little dark knives. Not like shurikens, but just like small knives that are just like double-sided, like a straight knife with double blade.
Yeah.
And let's see. You kind of deftly dodge them, if you want to describe that.
So as they're coming at me, ooh, I don't want to use that. So as they're coming at me, I see them. They faintly reflect with the fire that is all around us, and I notice every single one of them, and was able to.
Cool, and then it's your turn.
All right. With that happening, I decide to. Just do a full-on punch, just straight into his chest, to see if I can get him just further away from me. Just and see what kind of damage I can do with that. But as I do that, I come around with a hook right before that. Oh, switch that. Come around with a hook and then do the. Yeah.
So you're gonna use. Oh yeah, you're using your second attack. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So you'll roll both your attacks.
So for the punch to the face, I clip him like.
It's a slap.
Yeah. Like I rolled a 3, so or a 2, which is 3, but.
Yeah, he's kind of got like this little, kind of like back and kind of stylized elfin helmet. It's got a little bit of metal, not quite like a covering helmet, but it's got like a little tassel on top. You kind of just like smack one of the sides of those, kind of poke your hand a little bit. You're not bleeding or anything. Kind of hurts your hand. It's like that was not the smartest move, but you've got another attack.
Then I'm doing
It's just,
natural 20.
yeah. If you want to describe how you just like knock him back and just like knock the air out of him.
So I literally like come through and just get hit like, oh. And it's like that when you hit a cold bat on a baseball on a very cold day, it just stings. And my response is I punch him right in the chest just to like, because I know that this is not a good attack.
There's this radiation out from him that just like, you see this ripple effect along him as he like falls back onto the ground. And yeah, he definitely, you kind of notice he slides into this pile of ash behind him, like of cinders, of active cinders and embers. So that would assumedly hurt him a little bit as well, but
Now roll for damage.
damage.
Okay. So 4 plus 3. Or so I rolled a 4. So that's 8, 9, 10. 10.
Yeah, basically all I'll say is as he like slides back and almost partially obscured shadow again, kind of the second time you knock him down, you just hear him say like, damn it, as he like kind of begins to get to his feet, and you guys are still kind of in a close locked duel. But over here it's going to be your turn, and you just now seeing Core lock swords with this kind of hefty purplish dark elf who's now approaching, similar to the other, but a bit more heavily armored and with his great sword. And he's kind of a large elf. But yeah, they're locked just like 2 feet in front of you with swords. So what are you gonna do? This guy just came charging at you.
Aiming for his head with my bow.
Cool.
I'm feeling better.
And what kind of bow is it again?
Short bow.
Okay.
Natural 20.
I think it was.
Doesn't count. Roll again. Roll into the tray.
Natural 10.
Wait.
Again, I guess you can describe for us the reason your aim is so par. Just whizzes kind of close to him.
It's because they're moving so much and it's hard to see with the smoke. I'm like, is that him? Is that him?
It's actually because,
but I'm just willing to risk it.
as well, you're at close range, and I think your bow actually has disadvantage at super close range, like 5 feet, 10 foot range. So actually, you should roll twice and take the lower one, but you missed anyway. So
I did take the lower one. The first one was 20. I took that.
fair enough. And yeah, so basically, those two are continuing to sword fight, kind of Core and this great sword aggressor with this kind of this. He's an elfin kind of bounty hunter, assumably, who's chasing you guys. He's like, "Give it up, knights!" He like slams his great sword against Core, kind of knocking him back a little bit towards you. And what are you gonna do? You're gonna aggress this guy, and
is he still on the ground?
He's trying to get up right now.
Okay. I like march up to him, like just kind of like keep on getting closer to him, and I attempt to like grab him and punch him before he like fully stands up. He's like only a couple feet away, but do you want to like sprint there as fast as you can to catch him, or like march over? Okay, I guess like not really dash, but just kind of like hastily get over there.
Because
I don't think I need to use dash if it's like less than like once.
in order to dash, typically you would have to like use your action to move twice your speed. But you could use a key to do that as well, and just
then I can just
you basically just instantly reach him at that rate if you use a key. But
I want to save.
He might like he's almost up.
It's only a few feet though, and you're like punching.
He's also just like getting to his feet.
Yeah.
She can just stand up pretty quick.
I just
He just needs to like take a couple steps.
I just do a few steps and do a jab.
Okay. Yeah, he definitely like gets to his feet and he's like turning around to face you as you go for this jab. So you can describe and roll your attack.
Okay. So as he's standing up, I can see that he's actually on the aggressive point of getting ready to attack me. I try to get there and block it and do another jab right to the jaw.
Cool. Yeah, roll your attack.
Okay. 13.
He's definitely angry. He's coming at you like Zuko. He's like, "Oh, destroy it!" And you just like kind of block him and go for an attack, and he dodges deftly to one side, and he's gonna go for his own attack on you, but he doesn't even have his sword in his hand right now. He's just gonna punch you in the gut, and let's see how he does. So he like. Actually, you kind of block it, so I would say you kind of grab him and kind of shove him off. If you want to describe that better, you can.
So I can definitely. I feel like this is like a kidney punch that he's going to be doing. Just how I imagine it. Like angry, and he just before he can grab his sword, he just like does an upper one. As I do that, I grab him And I grab his wrist and I just kind of push it back into his like neck, almost like through like a little.
Okay. And then let's see. So yeah, as Kor's kind of advancing, Kor's kind of being pushed back rather, and this unknown greatsword elven knight is approaching. He's getting close to you now because he's shoved Kor kind of behind you, so he's like to the side of you. What are you gonna do?
I yell, "What do you want or who?"
He's like right next to you, but you can yell at him.
I'm still yelling. I need a jar in a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Like, what do you want?
Comically, kind of this pudgy, purplish knight who's just like gaining the upper hand in his sword fight, like dislodge Kor's weapon, and then grab his helmet and like throw him back, and he kind of lands back on his back in the shadows. He turns to you and he's like, "Come for the escaped slave, missus." And he'll like go in to grab at you, and he's like, he's just gonna try to like grab your head essentially and subdue you, grab your arms as well, and kind of get your weapon out of your hand because you're holding your bow. So he's gonna grab your arm that's holding the bow and just try to like squeeze the weapon out of your hand. So you can make a dexterity save if you want.
Yes, I will try to dodge that.
Okay.
14 plus 2, 60.
Yeah, so you can describe how you like managed to dodge his grab at your hand and your head as well, and just kind of like dodge.
Just like duck as low as I can without falling over, and kind of like almost roll, but like a crouch, and then stand back up out of his
Kind of
reach.
like dodge to the side.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, makes sense. As you kind of dodge away from him and turn up kind of to the side of him now, as he's kind of like fumbling where he used to be, you can make an attack or an action if you want. You can run away, but you can do something like a main action for your turn. You could like,
That's what I'm thinking.
yeah, you
I'm
could.
gonna try to stab him in the neck with my dagger. I think.
Okay, so pulling out your dagger, which is just like a simple dagger that you have on you.
It's not special.
No, you don't know where your special one is. One with your stuff. Where's your roll your attack? Sorry.
5.
I'm trying to stab him. You're like, oh, he's farther away than I thought. He's like a shadow in the smoke. You're like,
And you realize it's like a pocket knife.
thought he was right here. But you stabbed at the smoke though, and like the smoke is like.
Cleared a little bit. Can I still disengage, or no, it's too late?
You can actually
Like,
use
run away.
disengage as a bonus action, right?
I'm gonna do that.
Because you're cunning action.
Mm-hmm.
I allow this. So you disengage. Where do you want to go specifically? Because you can like run away to somewhere.
I'm running towards where Tredicor is.
Okay. Yeah, he seems to be engaged with the other of these two aggressors. Seem to be a duo. So you kind of can make him out in the distance. Like 10 feet away, 15 feet away in the smoke. He's a faint shadow though, because it's so thick. And
I don't want to go all the way up yet. I
Okay,
just want to
comfy.
like watch.
yeah, as you kind of get close,
See how it's going.
basically just to lay out the landscape. It's it's just white smoke everywhere. You can see like some black pillars around of dying trees, and this fatty behind you, this thick boy, and then these peasants seem to be like disappearing into the smoke a little bit.
Be like useless.
Kor's kind of just on his back right there. He's kind of getting to his feet now, and these two are right over to this side. How did they?
The purple elf, and like, so I was able to block him and push his arm up above him.
Yeah, these two are just locked in a like a
Tussle.
fist fight. They're just like wrestling right now. So as you approach, that's what you see. So they're wrestling.
Can I tell
Those two are
him who's
behind
doing
you.
better or not really?
It seems like Kor has a little bit of the upper hand in the wrestle. He's like higher than him. Yeah, like this.
Okay.
Yeah, Tredicor.
I was like, course.
My bad. Kor is on his back. He's standing up right now.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did that before, I think, too.
I think so, but
It's a nickname.
it is a nickname.
Core and core.
It's not confusing at all. There was another guy called Corin. That was a problem in my first couple sessions. I was like, I made 2 characters. One is Cor, and one is Corin. And Corin has a brother called Egart, but Egart died. So it was just Cor and Corin. They're like the NPCs. I was like, oh, that's not good.
It was hard. I'm like,
Oops.
Now we have Cor and Cor again.
don't remember.
And Cor's a slave in Ozark. So there's 3 Cors now.
It's like the most popular baby
Mr.
name
Northwood.
for the year that those guys were born.
The most popular name of like each nation,
Just-
like Smith.
Core.
That's a good name. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep watching for a minute. Can I do that? I have to roll for that.
No, as you approach, you can kind of keep the distance. How close do you want to be? Because, like, if you're at 5 feet, they're kind of shadowy. If you're closer, you're in melee range for sure. 5 feet's kind of melee range. Out of melee range is more like 10 feet away.
I can still see outlines at like 10 feet, right?
Yeah, you can see them
10 feet.
pretty clearly. There's basically like another level of, well, that's like the most defined shadow. If you're closer, you can just see them.
I'm crouching too.
Farther away, they get less defined. 20 feet is like pretty hard to see anything.
I'm like crouching by a pile of ash, just kind of watching for now.
Okay, yeah, just crouching by a pile of ash. Do you want to make a stealth check, actually, just to see if you can hide from everybody? You can do that.
Okay. So it has the +2 by it, and then also the +2. So is it +4 or just 2? Both. 4.
You have a proficiency in it.
Yeah. Okay. So 16.
Okay, so yeah, you kind of check behind you to see the
Scared guy.
the great sword knight who's aggressing before, and he seems to be distracted now by Cor going towards him. You think he doesn't know where you're at now. You're hiding pretty well. You're like low to the ground, so it's hard to see. Works very well in the ash. And yeah, as you guys are locked in kind of close wrestling mode, this elfin kind of hunter knight, he's just gonna sit here like, damn you scum! Who are you?
I'm a traveling nomad, and I'm part of the Church of the First Word. I'm here with my friends, the Knights of the First Word, and we're transporting these escaped slaves. And I suspect you're the ones that are hunting us to take us back.
And you guys are just kind of like, kind of wrestling a little bit. Do you want to like do anything along with me saying that, like trying to disengage at the same time?
Since we're still kind of locked in combat, like
You're kind of holding each other's arms, essentially.
And I feel like I just kind of wrestle.
Well, you kind of had the upper hand.
Yeah, so I'm getting him just kind of like closer, just pushed back. Is there like a stump or anything behind us that I could just kind of like state myself like that?
No, there's nothing. There's not like any low hanging logs. There's just like ash. But yeah, you could essentially, you have the choice. If you want, you can gain the upper hand on him like that.
Yeah, I want to gain that upper hand and be able to like maybe like force a fist like into his jaw while holding one of his wrists, you know?
Yeah.
Or like let go and do one real quick.
Yeah, definitely. But 1 second, he definitely says to you in reply, just kind of like, so you are the criminals we're searching for. I will be bested by human scum like you. But you gain the upper hand on him and you can attack.
Okay. Can I also do... I'm gonna do Chi after this as well. And I want to do Fury of Blows. But I'm gonna do my first attacks first.
Okay.
14 to hit?
So yeah, you'll hit him.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're rolling damage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And double?
It's not double.
Oh, I have to roll for each hit, huh?
Yeah. So this is your standard hit.
So that is... That is 5.
Okay. So what's this cut like? How are you punching?
So, like, as he's, like, talking to me, and we're, like, still kind of struggling, I feel like he has, like, some of my arm grabbed right here, and I have his wrist right here. And I just let go, and just do a quick jab.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So you punch him right in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just like punch him in the mouth to kind of avoid his chin guards, and he just like really does a number on him, like blood and maybe a tooth like fly out. I see it's kind of knocked back, and he just like seems to loses it and like stumbles back. But yeah, if you want to, you can just do your unarmed strike, or you can use a chi to do 2 attacks.
I'm gonna do my chi.
Okay.
Yeah, so Fury blows.
Okay.
Do I have to roll the hit for that?
Yes, you roll
For
twice.
the 2, yeah.
You roll and you do 2 extra attacks at this point. So you roll for both and damage if you hit.
Can I use this?
Fancy one.
I would say no, because you don't have advantage or disadvantage, just regular.
14.
Yes, you'll hit him.
Okay.
Because he's just like so staggered. He's pretty easy to hit. He's just like lost it.
Okay.
He was just like, he seems broken.
He was a bully.
And 11.
11 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, you can. How are you striking them?
So after the one that
just slow mo, like
just boom, and then after that, I see that he is actually very like, just knocked out of the wind.
He's weak.
And
he's
so
broken.
Instead of doing like one final blow, I am just gonna do 2 quick jabs right into the chest right here, right below the ribs.
So it's just the first one.
Boom, boom. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, that like radiates out, just kind of making a ripple into him. You see his eyes just kind of like roll back and close. You going for your second strike real quick, if you want. You don't have to.
I kind of want to.
You can.
Okay.
He seems like he might be passing out right now anyway, but
So 15.
just like a split-second thing. And you just
But then, can I change my second attack?
Yeah.
I want to do a total kick down.
Yeah.
I just want to, like, when he falls to the side, I want my kick to come up, and just, like, my heel comes down, and he just goes straight to the ground.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that happens. He just, like, knocks his chin down on the ground. He definitely knocks out. You see him just, like this tree just, like, quiver, and then just, like, eventually just holds still. And he's just on the floor in front of you there. So you, like, have your little chi pose on. You're like, yeah. I don't know.
And then I walk out clapping. Just until you see me, and then I stop so we don't attract.
Don't attract anything. No more attention.
At this point, you see kind of Kor's body go flying as this great sworded knight, who you see as a shadow kind of to your left, kicks him. Kind of just like flies a short distance, and then he goes running towards you guys with his great sword and goes into take a great cleaving swing at where either of you is standing. But you guys, you can describe how you just kind of notice this. You get out of his way quite stealthily, quite deftly.
I just turned shocked because I was watching the fight so closely, and
You hear him approaching.
yeah,
What do you do?
kind of like scurry, like almost crouch, crawl, run. It's harder to see. I like to get below.
So kind of stealth away.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to make a stealth check again?
Hopefully. Oh yeah.
What is it?
It's a 19, but I have plus a lot. Plus 4.
Oh, yeah, it's a very high roll. Very good. Yeah, you kind of stealth away from him.
Workout.
And he goes in for the swing at you as well and just kind of misses you. You can describe how you kind of dodge it.
I feel like he's coming from the side for me, I guess, in my orientation. I feel like he's over here. And as he like comes through for the slice, it's kind of just more like a surprise to me. And so I back up barely, and it's just barely misses my neck. Yeah. And with that, I feel like I could have actually a response to that. Right? Use a attack of opportunity since he... Maybe? No. Let's hope.
I will allow it.
And then after that happens, I just like hit his wrist right where the hilt is on him.
You got like a two-handed sword.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. And so I just hit his wrist, hoping to like disarm him.
Okay. Yeah, make your attack.
Okay. 19.
Okay, that'll hit, so roll damage.
10.
Oof. Yeah, so that's a mighty blow. Roll a d20 for me.
18.
Yeah, so I'll say that, you know, definitely kind of like, almost, you see like his armor like tweak, and his first hand that you hit definitely like drops off of his giant sword, and he kind of lowers it a bit due to its great weight. He kind of loses his grip on it, even with his other hand, kind of like he knocked into both hands, but he definitely kind of staggers back, but looking at you, he kind of gives this great shout like, "You scum! Scum, scum!" And he goes, "Ah!" And he charges at you with his sword, like as if to kind of just thrust it at you to like impale.
Okay.
And yeah, he's coming in for another attack there. And that one hits. Let's see here. So you take 4 damage. And he kind of stabs you in the side with his great sword, kind of making a great gash in your side through your shirt.
Okay.
Your linen garb. You kind of dodge a bit out of the way, but he still gets you just like on the side of your ribs, starting to bleed a little bit, but it would actually be your turn.
Okay.
Quick reaction with adrenaline.
Okay. So as it slides out of my abdomen and he steps back, I take a deep breath and I do, I'm gonna actually do acrobatics on him. So I decide like after like taking a brief moment to like, I don't know, it's almost like where the adrenaline hits me and the sword pulls out and I realize like in an instant that I need to attack. So I do acrobatics and I decide to like jump up high enough so I can kick him straight in the face. Like,
yeah. Do your acrobatics.
17.
Yeah, so you definitely jump as high as you want there and go in for your kick attack.
So I'm gonna roll for attack.
Definitely striking him
yeah.
with a 19 natural, and
In the face.
you're just kicking him with your foot.
Yeah, I jump up and I just kind of like,
face.
pow.
So roll your attack. Or damage, rather. Max damage.
Yes.
So
So for a 9, 10, 11, 12.
wait,
Whoa.
it's
Well, 11. Sorry.
Why is it 11?
Because it's +3. Whenever I do an unarmed attack.
Well, you don't double it though. It's just 4 + 3, and then you can attack again.
Okay. So 5, 6, 7.
Still good.
You make just like a quick strike
Mhm.
always on your turn. You can make another quick strike real quick.
Alright.
So he takes, sorry, how much he takes? 4 + 3, so he takes 7. And then you attack again. It definitely seems to like knock him to the side. He's kind of got like a bit of a helmet on, but it's mostly exposed face as well. It's a very chilly night.
Okay. Well, I rolled a hit, and I don't think I do. It's 11.
Yeah, you don't hit with that second strike that you come in with, if it's a kick or a fist. But you can have an action. You're just kind of stealthing away in the shadows, watching them duel. But you see Tredicor did get cut, kind of wounded. You see him bleeding. You can kind of see peeking in through the smoke a bit closer. You're so stealthy without being noticed. But
how hurt is that? It's the fat knight.
So since he got kicked, you notice that was the only time he really seemed to kind of break a little bit. Like he is just now being like knocked back, kind of falling off his guard, kind of stammering to keep his footing. He like kind of falls to a knee back in the ash. So you think he's a bit wounded, but he's not like bleeding, like, but he seems a little bit dazed now. It's about the best you can surmise.
I'm gonna firebolt him from where I am.
Cool. Yeah, roll to attack.
3.
Plus intelligence, but that's bad.
That makes it 6.
Yeah.
Still bad.
Still
But...
missing. Describe how you conjure fire and throw it and miss your flank.
No, it's too embarrassing.
Do it. Do it.
Do it! Do
I
it!
make a little fireball, and then I start to feel my curse a little bit, and it just kind of fizzled out.
Oh, you feel this burning sensation within you. You're just like, oh no, the fire.
My hand's like, curl.
Actual got inspiration for that one. I actually like that. That's a good creative narrative solution to missing.
Yeah.
Instead of just missing, it's like I just like have this like character flaw where I'm just like, it's like, oh, I can't do. It's not working for me. Like I want to, but I can't. So yeah, actually at this point. Core kind of stumbles over towards you guys. He seems wounded, and he's kind of leaning on his sword. He's got like a long sword, and he's he's got his armor on and stuff, but he's a bit bloodied about on top of his armor. You can see mostly around like his head, and he kind of stumbles over to see what's going on with you guys. He doesn't seem like about to attack or anything. It seems like maybe seeing if his help is required.
And that other guy that Tredicor fought is dead or just knocked out?
He seems knocked out. He's just lying still, just a few feet away from Tredicor and the other knights. And yeah, this villainous great-sworded knight, though, kind of like, I'll kill all of you. Run before I strike you down.
How close is he to me? Like right in front of me, basically.
He's in melee range. He's right next to you. He's just kind of like crouching or like on his one knee.
Okay. Can I pull out my monk staff and without getting close to him, just do like a complete 160 or 360 and just like hit him right, like I don't know, I guess the chin again, since his mask is exposed.
Let's see here. Yeah, you can. So, yeah, go for that. Roll for that.
Oh, bummer. What is that, like a 7?
Okay. Yeah, he like just like dodges it with his head. He's like, "Don't want to die, do you?" And he just like draws his sword up from on the ground and like goes to swing it at you, like taking one step forward, and he just like drops his sword into the ash and like kind of digs it down almost on accident, like just falling through as it swings so heavily, and then he kind of just like stumbles back again, kind of losing his footing, and he kind of lets go of his sword. It's like just sticking up out of the dirt and the ash. It seems to be lodged into maybe some thick mud underneath the ashes. So it's just sitting in the ground, but he's just like standing next to it, kind of dazed, like a very bad attack.
Yeah.
Failure. But it's your turn. Lorena. Lorena?
Lorena. I'm actually just going to try Firebolt again at him from where I am.
Is there a max on spells?
It's a cantrip, there's not.
So I'm just going to do that again and aim towards his head. Six. Plus 3.
So 9. So yeah. Do you want to describe this miss?
I'm just kind of doing it and yelling for his attention to distract him from his sword.
Yeah, what do you shout?
Hey, Patty! you think you can kill all of us? We've been through way worse. And then I even like throw some ash.
He turns around to face you. His sword's still in the dirt. He's just like.
And then I spit.
Spunky. I like it.
I'm gonna take you down first.
Good.
I'm gonna come sit on you. He just starts to run towards you, actually. Thoroughly distracted by your roll. Or actually, I was gonna say roll. Just roll a d20. Tell me the result.
11.
But yeah, Core kind of like draws his sword up into a guard as well as he like kind of begins to stumble forward towards where the great sword knight is charging. He tries to go
It's not the
help
great
out.
sword knight.
Without a sword, how can
It will be actually this great sword knight just charges towards you and goes to swing at you with his great sword now.
He doesn't.
But you can describe how you dodge it.
He doesn't have the sword.
Oh, you're right. We'll cut that. Try this again.
Bro, I am not getting stabbed by this guy.
Yo, this is the worst thing that's ever happened. You're right.
He's just a regular knight.
Regardless, this great knight rather comes to just like charge at you, and just like he just like raises his hands and goes in to like punch at you as he approaches you. And yeah, he just like grabs your neck and starts to choke you. And you can make a dexterity save, actually.
20! Yeah.
You rolled a 20?
Crouch and get.
Okay,
Crouch run.
so this is how it happens. You don't run away quite yet. You kind of like just like dodge slightly to the side just to miss his kind of grasp there. But quite quickly, like with this rage in his eyes as like the fire from the trees is reflecting at you, he goes in to grab at you again in the same manner, just grabbing at your neck, and make another dex save.
6. Oh, wait. That's 2. 8.
You both rolled a natural 20, by the way. That's, but
What? I was wondering. I was like, I did.
he's coming in for this attack, and yeah, he grabs you. So he squeezes at your neck and deals 1 damage to you. And say it's your turn. Real quick, you can react. First, this cycle. His grasp is not so great that you can't like.
I'm gonna try to
throw him off.
Try to kick his knee and break it.
Yeah. Roll your attack then.
11.
Yeah, you like kick at his knee, but he's just like so strong, and his knees are kind of armored with like chainmail and plate caps as well. You don't make much of an impact at all. But make a dexterity save for me.
16. 18.
Nice. So you kind of are able to just like slither out of his embrace, essentially, if you want to describe that. You just like get away from him.
With the kick, I have a little momentum, and I like grab his wrist and kind of like push and turn at the same time, and kind of make it out because his hands are sweaty from the heat.
Excellent. Very well.
We're all sweating. We're just like dripping.
It smells a little bad, definitely. It's like there's the ash, but there's a little bit of human sweat, blood on the air, and you know, breathing is actually a little hard when you breathe in. There's this thick smoke, and you're just like,
a caution.
It's
And
good.
yeah, it's kind of flaring up for sure. Like when you breathe in the smoke, it kind of feels like burning in your lungs sometimes.
Like heaving or like.
Yeah, you'll heave a lot, especially in here, and everybody will just heave occasionally.
Everybody got popcorn lungs.
I've been vaping. Look at these ashes. Look at the smoke. Yeah, so you just kind of gain your wits, and you guys are kind of locked in not like hand to hand, but you're just like in melee range of each other momentarily as it's your action. Tredicor.
So since he charged that far, I feel like I can probably.
Yeah, it's about 10 feet.
Yeah.
So he's a bit shadowy.
Okay. I go in for just like a total like. You know, like Austin Powers, like Cheeto chop. I really just want to come up right behind him and just go like.
I actually don't know. How's it work? Is there any more to it?
Cheeto chop.
Cheeto chop. Okay. Yeah, you can do that. Just roll your attack then.
Okay.
As you run over there.
I run over there.
I think you have to say "yeah, baby" as you do it.
Yeah, baby. That's a 13.
Yeah, you kind of just like sidearm him in like the back and the neck.
Mm-hmm.
He's got like some chain armor there. You kind of went for a weak point, but he kind of doesn't seem fazed by that at all.
Okay.
He's just kind of still focused on Lorena. He seems to, you know, kind of have noticed you to some degree, but he doesn't care.
How much taller than me is he?
He's a bit taller than you, and he's a really tall elf. He's like about a foot taller than you. So yeah.
What's his stance like?
He's got like a very wide stance right now. He's so he's a little bit lower. He's about your height, or a little lower, assuming you're just standing tall.
So I'm just gonna kind of like try to surprise him with something he's not expecting, and roll between his legs so I'm behind him.
Okay, how are you gonna try to surprise him?
I'm gonna do
Is that you're just gonna roll, or is there something else?
Well, I'm gonna go like towards him and then like duck him, kind of like go into a somersault
Yeah.
through his legs.
You wanna like start summoning a fireball and then go down here?
Yeah, I'm just gonna start saying some weird things about being cursed. Just be like, I'm cursed. I can curse you, and then just like lean towards him and then roll.
Roll an intimidation check as well.
11. What do I add?
Intimidation is a intelligence, I think.
It's under charisma.
Charisma, of course.
10.
Okay, and then roll your. I'd say a dex. You can do like a dex check. Natural 1. As you go to like roll in between his legs, he just like closes his legs and catches you. It's like stuck on the floor there. Actually, do another dex save real quick.
3.
Yeah, there's not like a pile of cinders, but there's like ambient, like kind of embers underneath you a little bit. And I'll say you take 1 damage from that.
Okay.
And as you're just kind of locked down onto the flame, and it's just kind of searing your arm a little bit, like giving you a low degree burn over time.
So can I do anything else?
For a second. No. Not unless it's like something niche like you can do. Oh, you can try to do actually your niche thing, which is your cunning action.
Yeah. I'm gonna use that to take my dagger and stab its butt since I'm between his legs.
I don't think that's how cunning action works.
Are you sure?
Dash, dodge, or hide. See, it's written there. See,
Can
cunning
I try
action.
to...
Move your pencil. See, cunning action, and then those are the 3 things you can do with that. It's like a bonus action on your turn, but only those 3 things. You can choose one of those.
Disengage if I can.
Okay.
Just try to like squeeze.
It's definitely canon that you take your dagger and slap him in the butt.
To try to get the momentum to push myself out and disengage.
You attempt to just ram your dagger up into his butthole.
No.
While you're doing that's part of the disengage. It's like you're throwing him off, disengaging. I'm not saying the dagger's actually going there. He's pretty well armored, but you're trying. That's part of it. You roll to disengage now, like dexterity.
5.
Okay, yeah. The dagger is, just like deflected by his chainmail and plate armor near his hips, and covering his large buttocks, his chainmail, and his kind of gambeson underneath, and you can't wiggle out of his legs. You kind of think you're getting it for a second, but he like grabs onto you again, onto kind of your legs now. You're kind of somewhat out, but not entirely. You're still locked underneath there. And it's like, where do you think you're slithering off to, little girl?
Rude.
He goes to like punch down on the ground, like over at your head or like your shoulders, but he misses and just like strikes the ashes next to you, and just like this wave of ash kind of descends over you and hits you in the face. And you kind of have to cough that out if you want to. That was good. You have to cough harder though. Okay, good. You can like breathe in, you try to wipe your face off, and it's your action.
Okay, so I'm still behind him because like after I went up and did the karate chop, I think he's wearing so much mail and like chainmail and just armor. I'm gonna use my short sword and try to go for another weak spot on him. And I'm gonna go with you on this, like going for the lower half. I don't know how far down his chainmail goes, but I know that if I cut right in between his groin and the artery, that he might go down. And so I do a quick to see if I can maybe find a weak spot.
Does he have any disadvantage for wearing metal in Fire Forest? Like stamina or anything?
I'm not sure. But what are you doing again?
So I'm cutting like right out of the groin to try to get the artery, and I know that that's usually a weak spot.
He definitely seems to have like a long chain tunic that goes down, and he's got like plates on his knees. Okay. Seems to have like some gambeson or leather armor underneath. But yeah, you can definitely go in for a strike down there and just roll your attack. He's pretty well armored, like,
okay, I changed my mind.
You can try to find a weak point like that though.
She's in front of him.
Yeah.
I push him.
Well, she's actually on the floor underneath him. He's holding her with his legs.
Yeah, so I push him actually.
Okay, yeah.
That way that he just kind of falls over and is on the ground.
He is like very large and bigger than you. But yeah, you can definitely do that. You can try it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do martial arts with it, so because that comes with. Let's see. Yeah, actually, can we pull that up?
You want to look up martial arts?
Yeah.
I don't think it really would affect this.
Just like for maybe should I just do chi power? I think that would be good.
So what are your chi abilities again? Flurry of blows, patient defense, step of the wind.
Mm-hmm.
None of those will help you push him over. You can deal more damage.
Let's do that. Let's go for damage.
It's flurry of blows. You can attack twice.
Okay, let's do that.
Or 3 times with flurry of blows and your normal attack.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can try to strike him down there first and then do more strikes. But roll the first one if you just want to strike him.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna attempt with the sword since I did say that.
Yeah, since you described that, we'll have that be the first one.
Yeah. And then
because there'll be 2 more.
Yeah, let's just see what I hit.
Yeah. You definitely like get a decent hit down on him. Doesn't really seem to do any damage through his armor though, but he's like definitely aware of you. He like kind of turns to the one side as you go in for another attack.
Okay.
Are you flurrying blows?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're out of key, right?
No, it will be, yeah.
16 hits.
Yeah. So for this one, I decide to. I notice that he's coming around, so I'm gonna actually grab him on the back of the neck and see if I can push him down, just kind of like down to the ground.
Okay. Yeah, you can roll damage with that.
That's a 4s.
Is he extra unsteady because he's
That
like
max damage? 7?
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
Is he like off balance at all from holding me between his leg?
That's what I was thinking.
Maybe. So just roll a d20 for me. Tell me the result.
15.
Yeah, so I'll say you can definitely like kind of shove him down, throw him off balance, and he like kind of goes down forward, and you can make another flurry of blows real quick. He's so fast. He's just like.
Yeah. So as he's going down,
slow-mo.
let's see.
He's the Avatar.
I do a quick, swift jab with. He has so much armor. I grab him by the chin, right here, and then pull it as he falls. So like I'm pushing him down, he's falling, and I just
twist his neck. So,
Ouchie.
did you roll damage? Or to hit?
17, 18.
So yeah, roll damage then. Doing so much damage.
Oh, 4.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do some math here.
That's a good idea, though, right? Break his neck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you definitely though do get like a really good twist on his neck, and just like you definitely hear it crack and like twist, and he like falls down onto the ground in the ash. Just like seems to go limp in the ash, perhaps unconscious. As you kind of like ready yourself, get to your feet. You guys don't necessarily like lower your guards. Kor's right there, just like he like kind of shows his wounds a little bit now. He kind of lets down his guard a little bit, and he's like, he turns around to shout towards the others like, "Come out! I think it's safe now. You must flee." What are you guys gonna do?
I'm taking that sword if I can.
The great sword?
Yeah. I don't want him to have that back. I will even tell Kor to take it.
Just somebody.
Yeah.
Don't leave the sword.
Yeah. So you want to just like
Do like a
grab the
quick
sword?
loot. Let's just loot.
Yeah. You guys want to loot their bodies?
Yeah.
Cool.
You mean he's like unconscious? The big fat guy.
Yeah, you can go investigate him and see, like...
Do I get the sword?
The sword's actually still in the mud. It's a ways off, so it's not by his body. Do you want to go grab his sword or investigate his body?
I am going to use my dagger to make sure he is dead.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that.
As long as I don't have to kill him.
Do I add anything? No. 9. I mean,
It's a
he's
plus
dead.
your dexterity, right?
Oh, yeah, so 13.
Okay. Yeah, as you go over to him, he seems just like unconscious. So you like draw your dagger and go down to like assumedly cut his neck and just like stab him. He just like coughs up blood, like opens his eyes at you and just like quickly grabs the dagger and he's like, "You can't escape." Make a strength save.
Good, excellent. Oh. 13.
So yeah, he like twists your wrists and your fingers like, "Ugh," and you like drop your dagger down into the ash, kind of losing sight of it underneath like, the ash right below you, assumably under a thin layer of ash. But yeah, it's a situation. What are you gonna do? Actually, are you doing anything right now?
I was gonna ask him, since he's about to die, I kind of want to know some sort of information.
Yeah, you can.
Why won't we survive or escape?
You want a persuasion?
Yeah.
Wait, what are you asking him?
Well, he just said, "You will never escape."
Why?
So wait, what are you asking? Sorry.
So why won't we ever escape? Like, who's still after us?
He just like vaguely looks in your direction. His eyes kind of seem like foggy. And he like again just like spits out some blood, drips down his chin. And he kind of like throws you off to the side and make a dexterity save.
9.
Yeah, you kind of just like stumble, but you don't fall over, stumbling to your feet. And he just like looks at you and kind of just begins to laugh, like coughs up more blood, just like falls down onto his knees in front of you. Just like you can hear him breathing kind of heavily. Cora has kind of disappeared now, but you can hear him kind of shouting off in the distance, like, "This way, over here." Doesn't seem to notice you guys do anything. But what are you gonna do?
Is there anything else you want to know from him?
I don't think we're gonna get anything from him.
And I'm just like not that far from him.
Nope, yeah, you're close.
Honestly, I'm just gonna try to fireball his face again.
Yeah, roll for your attack.
3.
Actually, I'll say you have advantage. Roll again, take the higher roll.
We'll see. 4.
Because he seems wounded. You can describe how you miss both times. 2 quick
I just
fireballs.
have a coughing fit. Both times I just kind of like go to the ground. Like, you know, when Pikachu tries but can't. That.
Oh.
Just kind of, the smoke just overtakes you. Anything else you're going to do?
No, I think we just leave.
Okay.
Yeah, like, leave him to his death. Like, I'm not gonna kill him, because it's not like an immediate death. Or, I mean, like, we're not in the moment. He's just laying there, so.
Yeah, you guys want to go find Core?
Yeah.
Okay. Core's just like seeming to gather up the rest of the freedmen. He like turns to you guys. He's like, I think we're missing one. We've got 4 men. Where's it's Filbert? Is Filbert his name? And one of the freedmen's like,
Yeah.
yes. I think he went that way. he like just points off a direction in the smoke. I'm not sure which direction's which right now.
The only thing I can think of doing is saving him is to stay put. If we scatter again, we may never find our own. The best thing is to stay as a group.
Of course, as everybody call out to him. Filbert!
Filbert!
Is that a good idea?
Yeah, why not? We defeated other people.
She might be right. There
I
could
think
be
we
more
should.
hunters.
I think we should just keep going because we have the majority to think about and time.
Quick. The three of you guys stealth out in 3 directions along with me. And you all stay here. We'll meet back here in 2 minutes. Okay? Just scan the perimeters.
Okay.
Okay.
Can't have gone far. I don't think you would.
Perception, I guess?
Yeah, I like how you guys rolled. I was like, what are they rolling? And I was like, oh, that makes sense. Do you want to describe what you guys are doing at all? As you guys just kind of go off your opposite ways?
About 21, so doing my crouch again, trying to listen for any other movements.
Okay. Yeah, you just see like some fire crackling, some, you actually see like, surprisingly, this tree that has some greenery on it, some leaves, and it actually, this fire blows over from this nearby pile of embers essentially, and like catches this low-hanging branch on fire, and the leaves quickly just like burn up, and the branch begins to burn slowly. But it has a few other like green, kind of covered in ash leaves upon it. Just this strange tree. It's very tall. It's like the only leaves you see in the area, but that's all you see. Well, what did you roll?
7.
Okay, yeah, so you guys are just kind of scanning your areas. In just a minute, you guys return, and Cora's like, hey, I got him. Let's get out of here. Everybody, I gotta check these tracks. I think we need to go. Which way is east? Looks at you guys. Do you know?
I do. Honestly, after that entire conflict, I am worried about which way is the correct direction. I do know that the caravan was heading, I'm just going to say it this way, but I am unsure.
What time of day is it?
Make a wisdom check. Or like a survival check, rather. It's like sunset. The sun is just going down. Like it's now becoming nighttime.
Can
it's
I
getting
see
dark.
it at all though?
The sun?
Mm-hmm. Or shadows or light?
Make a perception check.
I'm kind of serious about this tree, but I don't know anything about...
16, you said? Yeah, so just like looking up into the sky, it's kind of hard. Off in the distance, you saw the sun setting before, but on either side there just seems to be actually just this thick smoke and trees around. You see this tall tree, and you roll a 60?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just trying to look up into the sky. I'll say you kind of notice one direction kind of has more ambient light, and the other seems a bit darker.
Okay. I think we should head towards where it's dark and keep going east.
Okay.
Well put. Were you going to do anything else?
No.
Okay. And, Cora's like, sounds good. Very well. Lead the way.
Okay. And I just start slowly walking.
It's like, you want me to lead the way, man?
Yes.
This way, right?
Yeah, correct.
Be sure to steer me. I don't know where I'm going. So he's just like leading off into the distance, but he's kind of traveling a little bit slower now.
Yeah.
Seems a little bit hurt, yeah.
Um,
Where do you want to stand in the line?
next to Cora, actually, for right now.
Okay.
And in my bag.
Lorna's like right behind Cora. Do you want to be behind her or to like the side next to her?
I want all three. I think all three of
walk
us.
like to the right of Cord.
Okay.
So you can
I'll
be
be
on
on
his
the
left.
left. Yeah.
Cool. And all the freed, 5 freedmen are kind of behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine because it's kind of an open area, and you guys kind of just trudge along. So I'll have you both just make. Actually, you make a survival check as you guys just kind of venture off again into the ashen woods.
16.
Yes. So yeah, you make a good progress, and it gets late into the night as you guys are trekking along. There's, still some light provided by kind of embers and fires off to the north, and it's kind of occasional. There's just like different fires burning that just provide light as you pass by. Otherwise, there's just like this white ashen floor, which is a little bit thick to walk through, piles up. There's this thick smoke throughout, so you can't see much. But you guys just head off, and it gets darker and darker, and the lights are just more localized, and you can't see much. You can see a bit in grayscale better, but there's really not much to see besides like black trees and white ash. As you guys are hiking through the night, Cora's just like, we can't rest here. We gotta keep going. You guys want to do anything? Just keep trudging along.
Yep.
Yeah, basically, because I feel like the sooner we get out of this, the better. Because I don't know if he can actually survive the night.
So both of you make a dexterity check. Or save. Dex save.
Me.
Yeah.
18.
13.
You step into this pile of just active embers, and let's see here. You take 2 damage. Kind of burns your foot really good. You manage to avoid the same pile as you guys are walking closely, and Cor steps in it a bit too, and you guys help the other peasants avoid it.
Peasants.
And Cor's just like, oh. How do you feel about getting burned?
Mad.
You want to describe it at all?
No, I'm pretty private about my pain.
That's the noise you make.
Just do a small little. Oops.
More like.
You guys just kind of circumvent the ashes and continue moving along. So as you guys keep walking, for more hours into the night, nothing really stands out. You guys are just trudging along, but make another survival check.
20.
Nice. At this point, you guys
Feeling good.
kind of navigate your way out, and the fires kind of dissipate into the back, and the ashen woods become quite dark as you continue on, and there's not much light, but you're able to kind of lead the party through the darkness with your night vision. You can see pretty well in grayscale. As you kind of reach the edge of the ashen woods, there's still like some ash on the ground that dissipates into these lush trees like acorn and pear trees. There's a lot of pear trees, and actually some of the trees seem a little bit barren in this section still.
Do I see
like dead trees and
any tracks in this ash?
You can make a perception check.
I do not.
It's a hard no.
There's none. But you do see like some leaves on the ground. And as you kind of begin to leave this ashy area, it's just this forest of what you recognize to be pear trees and kind of acorn trees. There's like acorns on the ground and a lot of leaves on the ground, and it's just dark though. You can't see much. But yeah, make another survival check as you're venturing into these woods.
8.
Yeah, you hear like the occasional sound of birds and just wildlife, but it's a little late at night, so there's not much. It's a lot of silence, but you hear like, you know, some birds and stuff, like an owl. Yeah, there's definitely some wildlife about as you get a little bit further away from the Ashen Woods. But yeah, not much else to talk about notably. You guys want to do anything else as you're kind of venturing along?
Eat a pear.
Want to go eat a pear?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Yeah, as you
not bad.
go to grab one of those pears, actually, it's very mushy, and you notice it just like falls off in your hand. It's like super mushy. You probably don't want to eat it. What are you gonna do with it?
That.
You know how to describe that?
Flick it off.
Yeah. So yeah, the pear just like splots down onto the ground, like wipe your hand off, and yeah. How do you feel about that? What are you gonna say? Same thing.
Let's keep moving because it might be fresher the further we go in. The heat from the fire might be rotting it.
Okay. As you guys keep moving, another survival check.
10.
Let's see. So I'm gonna say, as you're kind of leading this pack, you kind of see up, just right in front of you on the little. There's kind of like this, not really a trail, but this kind of pathway that seems to be opening up before you. Maybe like a trail made by some deer or something that you just found. But right up in front, there's this snake coiled around on the ground in front of you. What are you gonna do? It's just all grayscale, and you know it's got like a stripy pattern.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure yet. Let me think.
Okay.
And does it see me? Like the snake sees me for sure. Or
Yeah, the snake kind of seems to see you. It's like kind of peering at you, kind of quivering up on its coil. Hisses at you. That was my best hiss. Can you do that?
I can't.
That's impossible. Oh, that was pretty good. Oh, you did it. It's different than I wanted to be. You can't stick your tongue in.
No.
Are there pears still nearby? Or
Yeah, so-
acorns?
Yeah, there's like a pear tree and an acorn tree just right next to you. Most of the trees are pear trees, though.
Okay. I'm gonna pick off a pear and throw it right near the snake and see if it distracts it at all.
Okay, so make just like do a d20. Just tell me the result.
11.
Okay. Yeah, so the snake kind of dodges it and kind of leans over as if to investigate, but it doesn't like do that much. It's a little bit distracted, but it still like kind of looks at you and back at the pear.
When it's looking away, I'm gonna be like, "There's a snake!" Because I don't. Can you guys see it?
No, I can't. No.
So you're the only one who can see. Everyone else is human and they're kind of blind. It's the middle of the night. I mean, they can see a little bit. They didn't see the snake though.
Firebolt. Firebolt the snake.
I love it. You missed again?
3.
I need to find a firebending.
Why
machine.
are you rolling 3s?
You do have that. I non-jokingly gave you an inspiration. If you want to use it, you can reroll.
I feel inspired. 16.
Yeah, so you hit your fire strike this time after like dishearteningly almost like failing to You want to describe that?
Do I roll damage?
You hit the snake, and you will roll damage, but you can describe it first, and then roll damage.
Since he's coiled up, I
And then you can
aimed
describe what happens
for
after.
his head in the middle of the coil. So
Okay.
it would burn the most of him.
Do you want to describe like what you physically look like as you do that, Lorena?
Like this. And then I just kind of like push it and throw it.
Supernova.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you throw that fire strike on and roll the damage.
Four. Oh wait. Yeah, no, that was the right one. I got paranoid for a second. Actually,
Roll
no.
damage.
Yeah, no, with 8. Sorry. Getting confused.
Yeah, you definitely like sear the snake pretty badly, and there's this active flame around where its coil is, and it like slithers off into the distance for a second, and then strikes out at you like almost out of nowhere.
How big is it?
It's a medium-sized snake, I would say.
So it's like coming up to my knee. Like,
As it like lunges out, it's probably longer than you a little bit, but yeah, it's lunging. It's trying to lunge for your face. Essentially, it might go a little low, it just barely misses. So either you're able to like dodge or deflect it. You want to describe that?
dodge, and I just like, I kind of hear it coming first and instinctively just lean away. And
Definitely, and you can use that
almost
reaction.
like
You can do an
hit
attack.
it a little. Okay.
Yeah, do you want to do another attack then?
Yeah, I don't really know because I lost my dagger, so it's like I only have short roll and firebolt.
Oh.
So you have a dagger.
You got another dagger. You've got actually like a couple other daggers that you can throw, and you can
Okay.
also use them to stab things with. You've got like a little. They're on your side
I'm
or
gonna
whatever.
use my dagger then to kind of like, as the snake comes, like slice across the bottom of it.
Yeah, you can quickly do that. Roll your attack.
12.
Okay, yeah, you hit.
Okay. And then I roll a d20 again.
Yeah.
14.
Oh no, you rolled damage, which is
Oh, the 1d4.
a d4.
Plus 2. 5.
5. Yeah, as you kind of just like slice it, I'd say you just like slice it along the belly for a distance as it like slides through past you, and you kind of gut it a little bit. Do you want to describe it? It kind of is defeated. You want to describe that at all?
I quickly turn away and feel glad that you guys can't see because the mouse at 8 fell out when I cut it. It was still whole.
Yeah, it kind of like
And I was like,
Just
kind
kind
of
of like lunch just came out.
and it kind of like struggles to slither away into the distance. Nobody else really. I mean, they see you doing stuff, but they're not.
We saw the fireball. That's about it.
They saw briefly this entangle, but it's really dark for them. So, as you can kind of describe how you like, get back into the game and start trudging off again.
well, nothing to see here apparently. Nothing to see for you ever. Let's just keep moving along.
Move along, move along.
Very
What's
well
your
done.
step?
Anything you guys are doing back there? Do you specifically, Tredicor?
Well, we just see the 2 flashes of fireball, and we're just kind of taken aback. And as like we run up, all we see is Lorena just like turning around and just being like, "Move along, move along."
You do what you gotta do sometimes, you know? And you guys just continue trudging along. Actually, quickly, after this, following this kind of deer trail, you guys come to this kind of more attended wood. It seems like this wood is well kept, and there's some pathways and some trees that seem to have been like cut down, a lot of branches cut down, and these trees just seem like very well kept. There's like not twigs on the ground and stuff like before. And shortly after you reach the edge of this farmland, so there's this field of wheat in front of you, essentially. And you've actually been traveling quite some time, all through the night. And now the sun begins to rise in the distance. You guys have been traveling very long, and actually at this point you guys are exhausted. So your exhaustion level you can write in as 1, because you're not sleeping. You got to go to sleep soon. You're super tired. That's what that means.
Where do I go?
It should be near the top. Oh, it goes to 2 then.
Oh. I meant actually.
I was at 0.
I wasn't tired.
And so that means all your rolls were actually better than we thought. We'll have to remember about
adrenaline helped me.
We'll have to remember about exhaustion in the future. I'll have to get like different character sheets, because once you're at 1, you actually just like have disadvantage all the time or something.
I mean, I already rolled like every number with a 3, so.
You did have a while though.
I disadvantaged myself.
Yeah. Das Vidanya. But yeah, you just reach the edges of this farm. Up in the distance ahead, as the sun begins to rise, you see some cottages, some small houses up in the distance, and yeah, that's about it. There's more trees out past that, more pear trees. Seems the wood continues, but there's this little village amongst it.
We search for the inn.
Search for the inn. Yeah, as you like make your way through the field and start looking about a few houses, feel free to do your perception.
20. Not natural.
Yeah, you start hearing birds chirping in the morning, a rooster crow. The sun begins to rise, but all you see is just like peasant houses, farms, fields, and scarecrows, and crops growing. And there's fences in this region, and about ahead further and all throughout there's just more wood about, more woodland.
No sign of like a central town or just these cottages?
Not like an inn nearby, but you find a trail that leads off through the woods up ahead, which you surmise is east, continuing straight.
I saw you knock on one of the doors.
Yeah, just continuing straight, yeah. What's that?
Oh, I said we should go and knock on one of the doors and just get some sort of direction.
Okay.
Seems good. Now that it's getting light, I'm gonna let you take the lead.
You have to like get your cat eyes off almost. Russia? Oh, just
tiny house.
The tiny houses.
Oh, yeah. These houses are smaller, thatched roofs. But yeah, you want to knock on the door. Are you going up to knock on the door? Yeah, you just kind of, how are you gonna knock loud, or like, what are you gonna knock like? It's kind of moderately quiet. Yeah, waiting a minute, you don't really notice anything. Still early morning, so maybe no one's awake.
After waiting for a minute and no one answering the door, I decide to sneak around, just to peek into the windows, see if there's any sign of life, or if this fire, or even these goblins or elves have taken over this poor village.
Yeah, sneaking around to one window, you peek in to see just like a very meager lifestyle of just like a simple chair in the corner, like some table, maybe some food upon the table, but nothing else in this kind of empty room. Some pile of rags on the floor. There's another window. You sneak around the side of the building and you hear some loud snore. What's it? And that's about it.
Well, I don't want to break into a sleeping man's house, so I guess we continue forward.
What are you thinking? You doing anything?
Falling asleep. Next house is good.
Yeah, let's go to the
I've
next
had
house.
enough
Yeah.
Okay. You're gonna go knock on more houses?
No, let's just keep on going down the trail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Down the trail. Yeah, you can follow that path. It kind of leads into another section of woodland, just like a part of this pear forest, which you recognize as being near Ironhaven. So just like the outskirts, and you guys trudge on a bit further. You're becoming very tired and exhausted, but you trudge on into the morning. Just do a survival check. I guess actually you, Tredicor, since you're leading this time. If there's anything else you want to focus on, you can do that.
Nah, since I'm so tired.
You make great pace and just stealth down into the others. You kind of encourage the others, like, we must be close. Let's hurry and to our beds.
Yeah.
And you guys make great speed down. But yes, after some hours, the sun becomes more high in the sky as you guys reach the edge of this pine forest. And you see in front of you more farms, some larger houses up in the distance, like maybe merchants' shops, and kind of this road that leads a long way up and off to the right as the landscape opens up, like these rolling hills, lots of fields, cottages. Up ahead, some larger brick buildings without thatched roofs. Off to the right, you actually see like this misty shore, some water off in the distance along the coast, quite a distance away in the early light. But up straight ahead, you see this wall of this great city, and shops and large buildings in front, and more pear trees and other trees. You notice as the light shines that many of the trees are turning orange and yellow for autumn, and there's quite a bit of pears on the ground, rotting, and you have the scent of this the lake, and kind of the scent of the fields. And there's wood life and birds, and as you approach, there are people working in the fields and people about, just kind of ripping out crops and things and kind of cleaning up the fields essentially. And most of the fields are kind of empty, but some have some plants growing.
I say we just continue towards the great city. We take notice of the happenings of the outside world, or outside the city, and see that the corruption has also reached this far.
Okay, so yeah, you're just leading up towards the great gate of the city.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, as you trudge down the street past the farmsteads, you see merchants setting up on the side of the roads, just selling kind of mundane goods, tools, and gear, supplies, water, food. If you guys want, you can grab some like food or water real quick, and continue on your. Actually,
yes. Can I buy that and also converse with one of the merchants, maybe? The one
Yeah.
song?
What was that?
I want a dialogue.
Yeah, so just approaching a merchant. Anything you want to say to them?
I'll get the water and bread.
Water and bread?
Yeah. Super simple.
Yeah, there's this kind of kindly elderly lady who's like, I've got everything you need right here, son. And she like offers you this pitcher of water and this loaf of bread. It's like, this bread is hot, fresh, out of the oven.
Oh, perfect. And how much for it?
Well, you do look like a capable lad. There is a chore you could do for me in return. If you would like to pull out my husband's tree, simply we've been needing someone to do it.
With my exhaustion and half health,
Oh, I insist. Come back here later and I'll show you where. She
Oh,
offers you the food.
okay.
Meet me here later.
Okay.
By the sunset, sir.
I'll be here.
No. Very well, and I'm Grace Ann, by the way.
Grace Ann.
Anything you want to do as you guys are perusing the shops?
Well, oh yeah, I was gonna ask her if she has seen Abraham or the knights come through here, or if they've seen a lone man on a horse chasing after them.
What's this now? What are you looking for, son?
I'm looking for my friends, Abraham, and he's part of the first first Church of the Word.
What's he look like?
You would recognize him in his caravan. They are transporting escaped slaves and many men in armor.
You telling me that? I don't know much about escaped slaves, son. I haven't seen anyone special.
So what happened to Abraham?
Let's see here. One second. Oh, I got it. Yep. This is your quest. Pullard the farmer's tree. The reward is not 1 copper though. The reward is just you return your debt.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll do that tonight.
Yeah, you can do that later tonight. You make your vows to repay your debt. So we'll soon do that if it's not mentioned, but unless you're busy. Anyway, there's actually a few things real quick. You got that. This one, you both get this. Gonna escape the black slave hunters. That's your joint quest right now. You know, you're doing pretty well. You escaped those slave hunters.
Oh, that's scary.
You don't know if anyone else is pursuing you, but you know, your reward's freedom. So that's your active quest. Very important that you do that.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, this is not there right now. But I have a few of these for you, Elizabeth. You can look at those. Those are mostly little personal quests, but anyway. Yeah, anything else you want to say to that lady or anything? You guys want to move on? Yeah, so you got to give her that stuff as you guys trudge up along towards the gate some more. Here's what'll happen real quick. You guys want... Actually, as you approach, you kind of near the gate, and you see this building off to the left that is an inn. Core mentions here's where we're staying, guys. Everybody up here. I need to get some shut-eye. It's seems wounded and short on breath, and he just like stumbles up in there. And yeah, what are you guys gonna do? You guys gonna go into bed?
Taking a room.
Yes.
Taking a room. Okay. Yeah, the inn is called the Ruby Valley, and as you guys approach this kind of a granny and keep who's behind the counter. He's kind of bald. He's got like white hair. It's kind of disheveled. He's dirty clothes, but as you guys approach, he's like, "You guys need a room?"
Yes, please.
Certainly.
You guys look like the adventuring sort. You guys been out to the lake?
We have only just arrived at the city. What lake do you speak of?
Air Poison Lake to the south. My men used to ride on the waters until a beast set in recently. Killed some of my men.
What sort of beast could do this?
I know not. They say a sea serpent. Great fangs. Finny feet. About its face, I think. Deadly sword. Yeah. Room and board. 1 coin each. Should you be brave, come speak to me again.
Perhaps after I'm less tired, we
Yeah.
can have a better chat about this lake.
Very good. You guys hands you each a key to a private room. It says, enjoy your stay, the Ruby Valley. Missing some teeth, a grimy smiles at you guys. If you need anything, talk to me.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
I'm Skeller.
Skeller,
Skeller's my name,
good to meet you.
but you can call me Johnny. He winks at you. Pretty little elf.
As I said, perhaps we can chat more when I'm less tired.
Make your way to your rooms. It's midday. You fools. Yeah, and Core kind of pays for a few extra rooms for the others and shows them all upstairs. What are you guys gonna do? There's a few other people in the inn. It's kind of a small inn though. There's a few people just at a table having some food over there. Maybe having lunch. Some cheese and meats, bread.
Oh, I eat my bread and I drink my water.
Definitely. Scarf that down for sure.
Maybe ask for some cheese from one of the other people.
Yeah. And as you're kind of walking away, the innkeep Skeller will shout at you. You want to talk to someone who's seen the sea serpent firsthand?
Yes.
Okay. You need to go see Stale Old Pete.
Still old Pete.
Okay. His cottage is just to the west of here. Is Pete Gomery? He's a grey old man now, but he should be happy to tell you anything you need to know. In fact, I should tell folk like you, wanderers, adventurers, if you can defeat the serpent, there's a fine reward, a bounty for its head, here at the Ironhaven Gate. They'll pay you a hefty sum. Rich man's fee.
Very good to
Be
know.
careful out in the poison mists of the lake. Ah! Get off me! But yeah, the innkeep kind of shuffles off behind the counter and goes back into a different room. The other folk are quietly eating, and yeah, they offer you some cheese. Like, hey, sure, stranger. Anything you want to do here?
No, I think I'm gonna probably make it up to my room because my exhaustion is 2, so I need to sleep.
Okay. Yeah, you guys notice Core shuffles off out of the inn. He's still kind of wounded, but he's just kind of shuffling away, well, solitarily. And he's like, "You guys get some sleep. I'll see you in the morning." You guys want to go to bed? You guys doing anything?
Yeah, let's go to rest.
Cool. You guys make your way up to your rooms. They're pretty nice rooms, simple rooms. Nice little bed with some sheets.
Mint under the pillow?
Huh?
Is there a mint on the pillow?
There's not a mint on the pillow, but there's some bread on the kind of this end table by the bed. That's like all that's in the room.
And some bed bugs.
Good.
Might be a little chair. I want to roll for bed bugs, actually. Just tell me the D20.
Wait, me?
Yeah, you gotta roll for bed bugs. You're thinking about them.
8.
12.
Neither of you have bed bugs. That you see.
Okay.
You don't see any.
I
Seems
get
fine.
in the bed and eat the bread while I'm in the bed.
Making a note of this.
Please do. Bread bed.
You guys are going to bed. You guys made it.
Bread bed.
Made it. Wow, to an inn.
TBH surprise.
You guys made it. I feel like there's definitely a mistake in there somewhere, but you guys are lucky souls. You guys are sleeping, and you guys intend to do a long rest, probably?
Yeah, well, I have to meet up the old lady, but I feel like...
Actually, do you guys have hit dice?
yeah,
have
1d8. Or 2d8, what?
2d8.
2d8 is your max hit dice, and check your other character sheet.
1d8.
Yeah, I'll say, yeah, yours might say 2. To check. Maybe at the bottom. Oh, yeah.
3d8.
So you got 2d8. That's your new max. And so I'll say, yeah, you've got 1d8, 2d8. Doing a short rest, you just sleep all night.
Mm-hmm.
And you can heal doing a short rest that way until you're out of hit dice. Then you have to do a long rest.
Can I do a short rest?
Yeah, that'll just be the night.
Okay.
And
Actually, yeah.
so you can roll 1 hit die or both to heal. 1d8 each. And then those hit dice are gone until you do a long rest. They'll come back.
We'll do a short rest.
Yeah, okay. And then you want to use your hit dice to heal? Probably just one of them?
Yeah.
Cool.
Sounds actually perfect.
So you'll have 1 hit die left after this.
6. That brings me 1 above full, so full.
Full. Nice. Yeah, so you guys will sleep through the night quite soundly and get back up to full health for the morning, but I don't know. It's probably a good place to end.
I would say so, yeah.
Okay. For the night. The session. Yeah, good job adventuring through the woods.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
The mistake was definitely the amount of time. It could have been done correctly, but it was only like 1 day. It was actually like more than that.
Yeah.
More days passed. You guys were there. Stuff happened. No.
We just couldn't comprehend it because we couldn't see the sun and smoke.
Well,
That does make it weird.
Yeah, actually, that's how it was. In the smoke, you guys didn't even know what time it was.
Yeah.
It was actually like 3 days. You guys didn't know. I'm just kidding. But you guys will both use a ration. I don't know how many rations you have, but you have 1 less now.
Okay.
Actually, you guys should have 2 less.
I don't know how many I have.
Thanks for playing, man. That was fun.
I have none now.
None more rations. We can buy some more. before you go on a journey.
I'll definitely get them at the end. I want to take a picture of this little setup though.
Oh, I left these candles here. I was gonna move those. Sorry. I don't know how many rations you have. We'll just say you have 0. You both have 0 now.
Sad.
You'll have to buy more.
We'll see. I might steal.
Oh yeah.
Just want to picture of it. That little. Does that a little like hook work?
Mm-hmm.
This catapult?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does work. I'll let you shoot it, but check this out. Oh, I forget how to load it. Gotta load it like this. And then you pull it like this. Oh, pull it like this. Ooh.
Don't shoot at me. It went right into
I'll
you.
pick it up. Here you go. Yes. Oh, nice. Pull this higher one.
Okay. Let's see.
Is he getting skills in the game?
No. This is out of game.
Oh, failure. I rolled a 1.
Yes, you did. You pull back all the way, but the bolt just goes.
Oh, okay.
Dude, you rolled a -1 that time.
I don't want to break it.
You're good. Shouldn't break. What was it saying? Oh. It's good if you put it down, but it can go 3 places. I could put 3 of them on here.
Oh, cool.
And then I can, I think I have 1 more, but I haven't put it together yet. I dodged it. Got you again. Here, bro. Can you put it like this? And then you can try to shoot it.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, just pull back and then, yeah, fire. Oh, nice.
My leg! No. It's a SpongeBob guy. My leg!
My cabbages!
Oh.
My cabbages.
Well, pause this guy?
Yeah.